Yes, we're going to talk about the shocking truth and also about the rare chance that you have at the moment for Bitcoin, but we're also going to look at the dollar index because yes, we're at this critical resistance level, and if we're going to see this breakout, this wouldn't be good for the overall market. But why could we expect that the dollar index is going to turn around exactly here, and that we could expect that Bitcoin is going to move sideways, and that we're going to see a dump all the way back to these lows, and that we could expect a massive move towards the upside? We're going to look at the news and also the facts, but guys, we're going to look at this awesome chart that might tell us exactly what is going to happen for Bitcoin. So if you want to find out more, watch the video until the end, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly activate the bell so that you always stay up to date. And welcome back to B for Crypto, and I hope you all are doing great. And before we're going to look at this chart, guys, we're going to look at the dollar index because we saw this dump underneath the 200 moving average, and then the price bounced back up. We nearly reached the 13 EMA, which is this white line. But guys, we have to really focus on what could happen in the immediate short term, because if we go over to the news, then we can see, yes, the Federal Reserve officially will hold the annual Jackson Hole Symposium. Powell's speech on Friday morning will be the highlight of a 3-day event, and this will be very important because why? The US Central Bank Chair Jerome Powell is expected to offer some clues as to how the central bank will approach monetary policy decisions. So yes, we could expect that if we're going to see a pivot or rate hike, which we can also see in these news. A global economist at Citi believes that the US Fed is likely to hit the pause button in the next meeting. So yes, this means if we're going to see a rate hike pause, then we could expect, yes, the dollar is going to dump and that we're not going to break this major resistance. Yes, maybe we're going to see a lot of volatility during this meeting on Friday, but guys, if we're going to see a rate pause, we could expect that Bitcoin and all the risk on asset are going to see a bounce towards the upside, and this is exactly what I told you in the last video, that I expect that we're going to see this dump all the way back down to retest these lows, and that we could expect, yes, we're going to see a turnaround if we're going to get this rate pause from the Federal Reserve. But guys, this is going to be a rare chance because we're going to look at the long-term perspective of Bitcoin and the cycle to find out what we could expect. But first of all, we're going to draw this box exactly in these levels where I think the price of Bitcoin is going to come all the way back down. For Bitcoin during this volatility, come back all the way into these lows, and that we could expect exactly on Friday when we're going to get this meeting from the Fed, that we could expect, yes, that we're going to get this turnaround and that Bitcoin is going to move to higher levels. But guys, now we're going to look at this very important chart that might tell us why we could expect a bounce from these levels. Because yes, we're going to go all the way back into the year 2012, where we can see that Bitcoin formed the all-time high, and then we were in this bear market, formed the bear market bottom, and guys, yes, we saw this breakout from this major resistance level, and exactly from this time all the way to the swing high, we had a pump of, yes, 65% towards the upside, and then we saw the sideways consolidation, and now comes the very important factor, we lost this red line. So what is this red line? And yes guys, this is the 150-day moving average, and we can see once we broke this line, we could see that this was major resistance. But guys, as you can see in this chart, we never lost this pivot point, which was this major resistance where we saw this massive breakout towards the upside and the first phase of the bull market. So yes, this yellow box is the first phase of the bull market, and this was exactly 210 days from the breakout, from this major resistance all the way to the breakout where we started this parabolic run towards the upside. But guys, yes, the green line is also a very important line. This is the 471 daily moving average. But guys, we're going to go over to the next cycle where we can see the same scenario. We formed the all-time high, then we were in this bear market, we lost this major support which turned into resistance, and as we broke this major resistance point, we can see we were in the first phase of the bull market, this yellow box, and we saw we had a swing high of 59% from this breakout, and again this lasted 210 days all the way to the levels where we started with this parabolic run towards the upside. So guys, yes, we're going to go to the bear market in the year 2019 where we can see Bitcoin formed the all-time high, and then we saw this bear market, lost this pivot point, and then we can see exactly here, we broke this major resistance point, and exactly from this level, we had a push all the way from here, all the way to the highs of 152%. But guys, yes, here we can see the period before we started with this parabolic run have been 518 days. So why did we see this prolonged phase? Yes, we lost the 150 daily moving average, and as we can see, we came all the way back down to the 471 daily moving average. But guys, what is really important is that we never lost this major level. Yes, we saw this wicks towards the downside all the way back down at $4,000 where we had this black swan event, the COVID crash. But guys, we never closed a 2-week candle over this major resistance level. And yes, this is on the 2 weeks chart because each candle represents 2 weeks. So yes guys, this is the very important factor, because if we go over to the price movement for Bitcoin, yes, we saw exactly the same scenario. We had the all-time high, and then we saw this bear market, lost this pivot point, and then we saw this breakdown all the way to the bottom, and then we came all the way back up to this major resistance point. And exactly here we broke this level and we had a pump of 32% towards the upside. And at the moment we can see, yes, we are breaking the 150 moving average on the 2 weeks chart. But guys, if we're going to get this close back above this line, then we could expect a move even higher. Because yes, even if we're going to see a lower dump, guys, we never closed a weekly or even a 2 weeks candle underneath this major pivot point, this major resistance, and this line that tells us, guys, this is the last chance to get Bitcoin in these levels. So this is going to be really important, because if we look at the time frame, then yes, we are at the moment at 154 days. So if we're going to drag it over to 210, like we saw in the previous cycles, if we're going to hold the 150 moving average, then we can see, guys, we are just before a major turnaround, and that we're going to start with this parabolic run. And yes, maybe we have the possibility that we're going to close a weekly candle underneath the 150 moving average. Guys, this would mean that the price movement of Bitcoin should come all the way back down to this green 471 daily moving average. But guys, if we're going to see a sideways move, then we could expect that this moving average is going to move up. And guys, even if we're going to get this dump all the way back down to the $20,000, guys, use this opportunity to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. But guys, we're going to go over to the 4-hour chart, and this is exactly my price target for the end of the week. So guys, yes, if you like this update, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly, activate the bell and be for crypto.